Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. Before we start today's video, which has some pretty interesting updates in the Zach Ertz and Julio Jones trade spectrum, as well as a quick look at Jalen Reagor, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as we get closer and closer to 18,500 subscribers. The bosses are having me push us to hopefully get to 18.5 as soon as possible. So if you're new or if you've been watching for a while and have not subscribed, it's free and it gets you guys all the latest access to all the videos here on the channel, your one-stop shop for everything regarding your Philadelphia Eagles. So go down below and subscribe. Help us out. All right, let's jump into the latest Eagle news and rumors here. I want to start with the Zach Ertz. I guess we're going to call it an update because we've talked a lot about Zach Ertz and we've given a lot of updates over the past couple of weeks, but there's a new bit of information via SI.com's Albert Breer that I think has some pretty big impact on the possibilities of trading Zach Ertz or getting something decent in return for the star tight end. So the report from Albert Breer, which we'll read to you guys here in just a couple of minutes, says essentially that teams think Ertz has lost a step and that he's no longer the elite tight end that he has been over the past couple of years, and his age being 31 the next couple of months, plus the fact that he was injured a lot in 2020, has dramatically brought down his trade price. And so what was once a mid-round draft pick has turned into a very late-round draft pick. But Albert Breer also came out and said the Eagles won't take a late-round draft pick for Zach Ertz. So you see what's going on here, right? We have a Mexican standoff happening here between the Eagles and, of course, a team that could want to trade for Zach Ertz and then Zach Ertz wanting to be traded. It's the classic, office meme where they're all just like, what's going to go on here? So one common factor here is that Ertz does become an unrestricted free agent in 2021 or 2022 after this season. And so maybe they could find a way to keep him for one final year, which we all understand would probably be very beneficial for young Jalen Hurts. Now, here is that report or the quote from Albert Breer talking about how Ertz has lost a step. It's up on your screen right now. Quote, having talked to teams, and in part because of his health issues, most say Ertz looks heavier, stiffer, and slower than now than he did in his prime. He's also turning 31 this year and is due a lump sum $8.5 million in the final year of his contract extension he signed back in 2016. Now, knowing the kind of guy Ertz is, I'm not going to tell anyone that he can't rebound from a bad 2020, but at his age, he'd be beating the odds to do so, end quote. Now, ESPN came out with a mock trade based on this report, talking about what it would look like if they were to trade Zach Ertz for a late-round draft pick, and we'll show it to you right now. It's not anything special. I think Eagle fans would be pretty upset about this. The Eagles would get a 2022 seventh from the Buffalo Bills and tight end Tommy Sweeney, and the Bills would get Zach Ertz. A pretty good addition for Josh Allen and that Bill offense. It's not bad to me. So that's where we're at right now with the Zach Ertz trade, and it's frustrating to think about this whole thing because I look back on it and go like, can't they mend this relationship? Like, I understand this all stems from a broken relationship, and maybe it's Howie Roseman's fault or someone else in the front office. Maybe it's Jeffrey Lurie, and of course Ertz wants a contract extension. They haven't given him one, but can't you mend it enough to where Ertz would play for $8.5 million, his current contract for one final year, and then be a free agent? Like, that's a lot of money. It's not like another team is going to give Ertz more than that in like a 3-year deal, because I don't think there is another team that would go ahead and do so. Can't you get the Eagles and Zach Ertz to sit down, mend the relationship, tell him how much we like him, because of course we do, how much we need him this year, because, listen, they do, and then let him be in his final year and play with Jalen Hurts in what could be a very exciting offense. Like, I want Zach Ertz to be here. I think you want Zach Ertz to be here. And if the option is get a late-round draft pick, or don't trade him and keep him, then just keep him and then release him next season, or don't re-sign him next season. Let him go off into free agency, and then if another team wants to give him his coveted 3-year deal at $8.5 or $9 million, then let them do that at the age of 32. So that's the current update on Ertz, and we're going to keep an eye on this because you never know, a trade could happen at any time, but it is interesting to see how much the stock has fallen in terms of, well, maybe he's worth a 3rd-round draft pick to, how about a 7th and a backup tight end? Would you take that, Philadelphia? Which I think Eagle fans and I think the Eagle front office are trying to avoid. Now, answer this question down below. Do you guys want to trade or keep Zach Ertz? Like, even if it's a 7th-round draft pick, do you want to trade him? Type T down below for trade. If you want to keep him, go ahead and go down below and type K down below for keep. Okay, before we go ahead and keep going here with the latest Eagle news and rumors, big shout out to our friends at Newsbreak and the Newsbreak app, which you need to download right now on your phone if you want the latest news in terms of local news, sports, weather, politics, whatever it may be. All you need to do is go to chatsports.com/EaglesNB, download the app for your Android device or for your iPhone, and then put your zip code in, and you'll get the latest updates, whether you're in Philadelphia or you're in any other county around Philadelphia or you're across the country like I am down here in Atlanta. So you get all the latest, again, local news, weather, political commentary, and of course, sports content, which you pick what you want to follow, whether it's like the Philly Inquirer or you want to follow us here at Chat Sports. You just search whatever news publication in the search bar. For instance, search Eagles Now by Chat Sports, and you can subscribe to us, and then, of course, it pulls up all of our content at the touch of a button on the Newsbreak app. So go ahead and download that, chatsports.com/EaglesNB, and get that on your Android device or your iPhone today. Okay, so Jalen Reagor was at OTAs over the past couple of days, and he's looked pretty good with everything that I've seen and heard. But he also spoke to the media yesterday and was asked about, listen, there are a lot of critics out there, Jalen, like how are you handling year two when people are calling you a bust? And I think Reagor had some pretty good insight about his expectations for 2021. I think you guys want to hear this here in just a couple of seconds. Also, it is being reported the Eagles are planning on playing Jalen Reagor more in the slot going forward, which would give Fulgham one slot outside, Smith another slot outside, and then Reagor on the inside. And I think he could really flourish in that position and go ahead and hopefully live up to the high expectations that he himself has put on himself in order to go ahead and prove he's not a bust and not worthless from a first-round draft pick perspective. Here was Reagor's comments when asked about the response to the critics. He said, quote, "You can look at it two ways. People can say whatever they want to say, but if you respond, you're wrong, but it is what it is. I know what I can do better. That is why I attacked this offseason the way I did. We'll see if everybody has the same energy after the season," end quote. Now, all signs are pointing to a strong year. There's no reason why Jalen Reagor shouldn't have a strong year. And I think Nick Sirianni, part of the reason the Eagles hired him was to go ahead and hopefully add some life into this passing attack. And you pair Jalen Hurts working with all the young receivers. You pair a very strong running game, which will help the defenses, be weary of Miles Sanders and Kerryon Johnson and Kenny Gainwell. You have a healthy offensive line, and you have DeVonta Smith taking a ton of the spotlight off of Jalen Reagor. All the ingredients are there for a very, very strong year, and I think that Reagor is right to say that let's see who has the same energy in terms of the critics going into, or I should say, following the 2021 year. He doesn't need to be, the best receiver on the football team. I mean, I think we hope that Fulgham could be that, or obviously DeVonta Smith, but he needs to be top 3 in catches and top 3 in receiving yards at minimum in order to, I think, kind of re-bolster and boost back the excitement Eagle fans had whenever they drafted him last year in round 1. What's your confidence level in Jalen Reagor going into 2021? Like a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level right now in Reagor here in year 2? Type 1 if you are not confident at all. If you're super confident, then give me a 10 down below right now. I jump into some more Eagle news and rumors here today, and it's another quick update on the Julio Jones situation, which I've talked about a lot and discussed how I don't think Philadelphia is going to do it. I don't think that they need to go ahead and make a move for Julio Jones. And then yesterday, Darius Slay's on Twitter trying to go ahead and lobby him over to Philly, and Jason La Canfora is saying that apparently the Eagles should be a dark horse candidate team to go ahead and trade for Julio Jones. Now, Jones did tell Shannon Sharpe he wants to play for a winner. I think we all expect the Eagles and hope the Eagles will be winners this year. I don't think it guarantees that they will. Like if he said he didn't want to be a Cowboy like he told Shannon Sharpe, doesn't necessarily mean he'd want to be an Eagle. But you can see where maybe this rumor could start to grow a little bit if Howie Roseman wants to pull a rabbit out of the hat and go ahead and trade for the star receiver. So here first was Darius Slay's recruiting tweet, which a lot of people, like the Titans, are doing tweets like this. Like a lot of players obviously want to play with Julio Jones. Slay basically just said, Eagles, and then gave the eye emoji and then at Julio Jones. So maybe that's a good recruiting pitch. Why not just call him on a cell phone? But again, Twitter, it's, for the young people, as of course I am one of them. But the more important report came via the CBS Sports NFL insider Jason La Canfora, who basically said straight up the Eagles should be a dark horse to trade for Julio Jones. Quote, "If you are looking for a dark horse outside of these teams, I've seen the Eagles around 10-1. You can never count them out of this kind of move," end quote. He cited the 49ers and the Colts and the Patriots being the front runners right now for Julio Jones. And there are reports that the Falcons are fielding phone calls right now, and someone has offered a first-round draft pick. Maybe Philadelphia has 3 next year, and they want to go ahead and make that offer. Who knows? The Eagles can at least call. Right, and I think Julio Jones is past his prime, and he's aged a little bit, but I'm not saying he wouldn't make the Eagles better. I mean, you put DeVonta Smith and Julio Jones and Jalen Reagor and Travis Fulgham. I mean, that's a very exciting offense, and one that I'd be very intrigued to go ahead and take a look at. And the Eagles can afford him, technically. They have enough money, and they can move around some more with the Fletcher Cox restructuring, so it's possible. So, I mean, I'd at least pick up the phone and make a phone call. Doesn't guarantee that a trade would happen. Doesn't guarantee that Julio Jones wants to be an Eagle. But you could, for instance, offer a second-round draft pick and maybe a player like a Josh Sweat or a Derek Barnett, because Atlanta needs pass rushers, and maybe have the best offer out of the Colts and the Patriots and the 49ers, and then boom, he's an Eagle. So the possibilities are out there. I think they will at least pick up the phone. They probably have already picked up the phone. But it is nice to see at least that NFL insiders are saying, don't forget about Philadelphia, because the Eagles are known, and Howie Roseman, love him or hate him, is known to be a a risk taker and a high move guy in terms of trading for big name players. He's done it in the past. He's signed a lot of big name players, whether they've worked out or not, and maybe Julio Jones could go ahead and be one of them. You guys think the Eagles should try and trade for Julio Jones? Like straight up, do you want them to trade for Julio Jones? If you do, type Y down below for yes. If you do not, then go down below and type N down below for no. I would need to see how much it would cost, but I wouldn't mind it, and I think I've changed my mind a little bit here in terms of the possibility of adding him in midnight green. So give me your answer of that, Y for yes, N for no, down below. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles now. If an Ertz or Julio Jones trade happens at any time, we will cover it here on the channel. Mark my words, we'll have a video breaking it all down as quickly as we possibly can, and we're good about getting stuff out really, really fast. So make sure you guys are subscribed and hit the notification bell. That way you do not miss a single video and a single update regarding our Eagles all offseason long. Ultimately, for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, I'm your host, Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.